Welcome back, everyone, and to those of you just joining us, a regular welcome, I guess, is what I'd give you. We just had Kangas and Cubby breaking down game number 2 between Team Liquid Academy and 100 Thieves Academy. TLA looking to potentially sweep this one out. 100 Thieves now looking for a reverse sweep moving forward. But we do, again, have some more clips to kind of talk about here from that previous game. And I think the name of the game has kind of been the same here for Team Liquid Academy. And setting up a lot of early pressure for themselves, a lot of early ganks. And, I mean, right off the bat here, you see the attempt, Chad, going in on Dokla. So top side, a little bit more focus here coming out of 100 Thieves Academy early on. We really didn't see that from this Trundle in the previous game. So a good start, but still, there wasn't much that 100 Thieves Academy was able to gain, even when they got a bit of a lead.
The very first play started off good, right? Trundle skipping a lot of camps to go for top lane plays has become kind of stock standard at this point. But after that, it felt like every single time we saw these teams come together, it was a play that 100 Thieves at least thought they were starting. But it didn't necessarily mean that they had the members. And the one time that they actually do, in 17 minutes, actually gives them this huge reward because they finally get some people on.
What a play there.
You know, I was actually a little surprised by that one. I thought for sure that didn't even happen. I didn't see the replay perfectly on that one. And so seeing that, it's one of those heartbreaking moments because there is no TP for Dokla. He can't join this one, and Team Liquid had well overextended. This is the moment where I actually like, hey, you know, this is looking good for 100 Thieves. They're going to be able to bring this back in. They got 3 kills on Luger. It's 3-0 and 2 now. But then you have these fights afterwards, and that's when it starts really falling apart.
Yeah, you asked me during the game Magicals, like, what is it going to take for 100 Thieves to come back? Because if Team Liquid are able to play this properly, if they're the ones who are controlling the fights, it's pretty much impossible for Luger to do anything. And the answer that we came up with was, well, Luger needs time to free hit people. And we saw in a fight where he was able to come in a little bit later, he was really, really impactful. He was able to run a bunch of people down, and that's what Vayne really excels at. Unfortunately, when you get to stuff like this where, you know, it kind of feels a little bit awkward where the wallop misses coming out from Dokla, but it doesn't really matter because Harry just is so strong that he doesn't care about the range just.
Well, not just that. Ryoma buster shotting him right on top of poor Luger. Just right there, like, oh, hey, look, Gnarl, right in the wall. Bye. Hey, here you go, more gold.
He was trying to keep him on the other side of the wall. Like he was trying to do. It was just
but Luger was
very
there.
Small. Well, no, he wants to keep him next to Blue Buff, right? Gnar loves hanging out with Blue Buff, I think. I don't know. I'm gonna assert that claim, and until somebody can prove me wrong,
I thought you were one trick. I thought you were talking about being a Gnar one trick right here.
Unfortunately, he doesn't speak a language I can understand.
All right, he is the missing link. You know, he's got a little bit of age on him, I suppose. But, you know, so there was really good pressure. And I think a good thing that 100 Thieves Academy did is recognition that, hey, you know what? The most difficult lane for Team Liquid Academy going into this is going to be the Gnar into the Kennen on the top side. And so they did react to that. They did have that early gank set up here coming through from Chad, Trundle, making an early move into the lane. But once it really, there was a little bit of a lead, and that's all 100 Thieves was able to gain for themselves, because as soon as Team Liquid decided they were going to pop off and really navigate towards the team fight stage, I mean, it was just kind of control. It was once again reactive play coming out of 100 Thieves and entirely proactive play from Team Liquid.
Yeah, I also want to highlight Dokla in this matchup, right? Because this matchup, as an R player, absolutely miserable in the lane. You can do very little. You're getting outranged. You're also going up against a manless champion, so you can't even out-sustain them during the long term. So the fact that Dokla was able to find a massive lead on his own after getting killed is just kind of a testament to how strong Dokla has really been in a lot of these side lanes.
But I also want to give a lot of credit over to Harry. His rise, especially as of late, because this has been his 3rd game total in the Proving Grounds. We know that Rise has been dominating in the meta right now. The fact this is only his 3rd game that he's played on it is actually kind of impressive on its own. But then you look at the stats. Right now, he has a 20 KDA on Rise in 3 games, adding in this final performance on that as well. Last time, just last game, went 2-1-12. He hadn't died beforehand. This guy has been absolutely absurd on it, and now they're swapping sides. Now we actually have a slide swap, and for me, 100 Thieves, if you're not you weren't even willing to first pick the Rise before, I better bet that Team Liquid are going to first pick it if it's left open. So you better ban that champ because it won't be available for you.
Yeah, you got a little bug there, Jolly? You doing all
yeah,
right?
Yeah. It's bug splat, you know, popped up for me. No, he's gone. He's gone. He got the message, all right?
He got it, yeah. Well,
We'll be coming back in any time.
I really like to think about how this next game is coming through, and I want to take a look at how 100 Thieves have a little bit of an opportunity to come back, because one of the things that we have praised them for historically is before a dragon actually spawns, they tend to go for a lot of fights. We saw glimpses of this in the first game where they were able to find a lot of these picks, within a minute to 30 seconds before a dragon would actually spawn, but they weren't really able to do anything about it because Team Liquid were still just powerful enough. They had enough gold, they had enough items to make sure that 100 Thieves weren't able to get in. We didn't see a whole lot of that this game, but with these early games that they've been having, I feel like it's kind of their one way to get back in the game.
And so this actually brings me pretty well to my next point, because I want to talk about Honori. Honori is one of the few defending champs we actually have left, because he had won Academy Worlds last year, he had won Scouting Grounds the year before. This guy's actually been incredibly impressive, and the reason why it actually ties into your point is that early game pressure. When I think of Honori and how he played last year on Cloud9 Academy, it was all about his early game pressure, how fast he was as a player, how he would constantly try to put pressure onto the opponent. Chad has clearly not been able to keep up with him. He's been struggling, knowing exactly where to be, while Honori is running circles around him. This player is proving why he is a top talent, and getting back here, just jumping in to fill in for Team Liquid and being able to have this kind of performance, gelling with the team, has been so impressive to watch.
But I also want to defend Chad a little bit, right? Because while that's been true of this series, Inori has been getting the better of Chad almost every single time they've gone head-to-head. That wasn't true in some of their previous series. That's how 100 Thieves got a lot of their wins, is they went for some of these early game plays. We saw the level 1 invade bottom lane in the first game. We also saw some aggressive stuff coming out from Chad where he's able to go top lane. They are doing some of these early game things. It just feels like they're not able to capitalize on them. It doesn't feel like 100 Thieves are playing up to the level that we know was able to take down Team Liquid just a couple of days ago.
Right. So, okay, then I got to consider moving forward here into this one. 100 Thieves, the last thing they want is to get swept out of this tournament. They're looking to pull things back. They have picked the red side, which is one of the suggestions. Of course, you mentioned ban out the Rise, because that's absolutely going to be a first pick here for Team Liquid. What else would you guys like to see? And I'll start with you, Magical. Just what else would you like to see from 100 Thieves that we know they've had advantages in the past over Team Liquid that we haven't quite seen up to par today?
Now, here's the question that I have to send back to you. Do you want a real answer, or do you want a magical answer? These are very important distinctions here.
I feel like it's got to be a magical answer, coming from you. It's either that or a mad answer, and I prefer magical.
I mean, Josh already answered it.
Bad
I want my
here,
fiddlesticks here.
Fiddlesticks.
I want fiddlesticks, baby. Bring them back. Where are you at? I need my fiddlesticks, baby.
We don't have Fire playing. We don't have Keel playing. Where's the Fiddlesticks coming from? Is Chad supposed to play it? Or is it going to be something even spicier?
I don't care who plays it. I just want it played.
I think support. I think Ayla might be willing to do something like that for you one day, Magical. Maybe not this time, because this is. This is the chance for Team Liquid to get the sweep here. This is the chance for them really going into this tie, this match that we've seen go so back and forth between these two teams, to finally say, all right, we're putting the foot down. We've made a lot of progress here. We've added in some new players, and we're going to make it our point to not allow 100 Thieves to take home anything today. Hopefully send it them with their heads hung low. But they've got first pick here. So I got to ask Joshi, what's the first pick going to be, or what do you think the two picks are going to be in the responding side now that they are on red? Do you think they're going to continue to put priority in the jungle and on Trundle specifically?
I have to imagine it's going to stay the same, right? If Trundle is not going over to Inori right off the bat, it's something that 100 Thieves have picked up twice at this point. And, Chad has looked okay on it. It's not any kind of mechanical issue that they've been having. It's something that the team as a whole doesn't seem to be making the right decisions around the champion. I think that's something that they've also shown with their shot callers, that they are able to play around that historically. The big thing that I want to see them turn around instead is focus on making sure that you can get Gamsu in a comfortable matchup. We already saw him with a small counter pick earlier going top lane, but now we've seen a lot of things he's been able to get solo kills up against Dokla on when Dokla actually plays the Camille. So find him a good matchup, and hopefully you'll be able to staunch the bleeding.
See, that's what I was even going to bring up, was that I think that the big thing for them is just getting Gamsu on something that isn't inherently going to struggle in the lane phase. I think he's the strongest when he's on tanks. We've seen him. Sejuani top lane that he busted out there for a bit was actually really fun to watch, even if a lot of people are like, tank top lane, whatever. The fact that he was able to have such success with it was what was so impressive there. But then you see the Kennen, and you had talked about it, Josh, that that's normally a matchup that Kennen should win. But Dokla was able to bring it back. He knows how to play the Gnar into that matchup really efficiently and was able to do a great job when it came to the team fight. So I need to see that for the side of 100 Thieves Academy going on to the red side, they hold off, try to see if they can get the best humanly possible matchup into that top lane. Hell, Shen was something that I was looking for. I would have loved to have seen a Shen pick there just because he plays such an excellent weak side top lane, and then he also has the free ability to join every team fight.
And we like the global ultimates as well. Semi-global, global ultimates have been huge right now, but we can only predict and anticipate so much before the game actually starts up. So we are going to take one more quick break before throwing it back over to Cubby and Kangas to break down what may potentially be the last game in this best of 5 series. Game number 3, it's match point here for Team Liquid Academy, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
And we're back for game 3, what could be the final game in all of Proving Grounds. TLA up 2-0 in this series, and this time 100 Thieves Academy will be on the red side, so we are getting side selection mixed up here for game number 3. Cubby, what does this mean to you? Is this good for 100 Thieves Academy? Is this rough for them? Give me your thoughts.
I think the 2 blue side games and the 4 blue side games they have played against Team Liquid, I should say 5, they've only won 1 in the last 2 best of 5s. And I think the big key and the big switch up in this series is the mid-jungle duo. I know that Harry put a big emphasis on that, talking with him beforehand, saying that if me and Honori have priority, we feel like we can kind of get that lead and translate that into the rest of the map. And that's exactly what they've done and what the Voldabear in the Trundle matchup does. Yes, you get outscaled brutally, but early, levels 3 through 9, you are so powerful in the mid lane as a jungler. And I think that's been a big key, that combined with Ryze and keeping 100 Thieves down and making sure that TLA is able to make the plays they've been making in the early game.
And I want to throw Ayla's hat into that mix too. Ayla helping out in the mid lane as well. It isn't just the volley bear, it's the fact that Ayla's willing to just leave that bottom lane on the drop of a hat to help out those plays that'll happen there too. So other adaptations I'm seeing, I think that maybe it's time to take Trundle off of the table here. If you're 100 Thieves Academy, you can just ban it out, especially if you're red side. I think TLA will first pick it themselves, if not just grabbing the Ryze like the analyst test had kind of been predicting. So let's see, they still ban away the Thresh and the Varus. They only get one. It is the Trundle ban.
Good call there, Kangas, as he's been, you've been doing your research too.
Results-based analysis, baby.
Yeah. Of course, Jace being a consistent blue side ban by 100 Thieves Academy. I like that Toko's DMing a little bit, flashing that one, and TL sticking to the game plan. All about that mid-jungle prio. Taking that Ryze, that Rune Prison, that gank assist does make things difficult for mid laners early. And I want to see if 100 Thieves throw down. If they go for something like Jarvan LeBlanc to try and challenge that Ryze, challenge that mid-jungle duo. Instead, might be 100 Thieves sticking to the game planning of team fighting. I like Orianna into Ryze. You can keep Ryze at bay and force with Shockwave for the team fight. So a different flavor coming out, and this does lead me to like think about Jarvan, right?
Exactly.
About that combo, yeah.
Still pairs with the Jarvan, so I actually like this a lot, but oh, it also pairs with the Nocturne. This is a very early Nocturne for a game 3 when you're down 0-2 in a series. Chad, throwing down the gauntlet right now.
I think it's something that 100 Thieves did very well in the winners finals against TLA, is taking champions that cheat tempo and make plays on the map and accelerating the game versus TLA. Nocturne returns them a little bit to that strategy. That said, I think something that TLA did really well in that series was one of the adaptations they had was putting Yawn on Aphelios early. When that wasn't working out, they were switching him to long-range champion, slippery marksman. Ezreal, of course, being that very slippery marksman, will feel rather nice into Orianna and Nocturne, and that's going to be the Jarvan taken for Inori. So still a big focus on that mid-jungle duo.
Exactly. A lot of setup for mid lane plays between J4 and the Rise. Importantly, last time Team Liquid were able to pick up a win against Chad's Nocturne in that winners finals, they had LeBlanc in the mid lane, but now less mobility. But there is Lucian locked in for 100 Thieves Academy. Jan actually played this in that game 5 in the winners bracket finals. Didn't pick up a win, but now 100 Thieves Academy think that they can pilot it.
And he played it in Ezreal. And Luger is saying, I like that matchup too, but I'm going to show you how it's done. And this really changes up the flavor of the game. We expect 100 Thieves to kind of get leads mid and then play towards bot. This tells me that they are going to be playing towards bot for the entirety of this game. They might even blind pick a top laner here just to make sure that Poom gets support counter, because that is so important for Lucian and having that winning lane, because if he doesn't get ahead early, he doesn't have a lot of range to work with. So against Ryze, you can be controlled by that rune prison. J4 also can make life a little bit more difficult. Having that dash is very nice for the Lucian. But Ryze Ezreal, you got to get ahead or else you're going to be kept at bay. And so we're going to have to see if 100 Thieves are able to piece together some tools to do that. And if they blind a top laner here and maybe save that support counter pick for Poom.
They banned away the Camille. They banned away the Jace. Okay, so they're sticking with that Jace ban. That makes a lot of sense. Set
Two
would be
counters.
the big counter to the Ornn that now Dokla still has shown throughout Proving Grounds. In the small-ish sample size that we've gotten to see Dokla play since back in Academy, I mean, that was a completely different meta. He was playing Viego top back then. So now he's showing still that he has a pool that he can play into those tanks. So if 100 Thieves are going to lock in that tank, blind pick, I don't know exactly if I favor it, if I like it, but at least it's not going to be the Ornn, because Team Liquid Academy do take that away.
They did read that. They don't want to have Ornn, he packs so much CC that he opens up a lot of space, a lot of room for Lucian. So not wanting to deal with that, but instead, Jace, that's a good matchup into Renekton. So with that and Ornn off the board, Gamsu says, I don't think you have what it takes to counter this.
Okay.
But I'm curious, Dokla did play Shen in the last series. That's an okay matchup into Renekton. And he has other options for counterpick. You can get crazy with something like Quinn. Kennen would be something that's kind of standard and would also make life very difficult for Lucian. We talked about blinding top to make sure that there is the support counter bot. Exactly what 100 Thieves want to do. And of course, Dokla going with that stock standard pick and counter into Renekton, going to be the Gnar.
The range matchup into that Renekton. Keep the Crocodile at bay. Hopefully, you can use your range and then your disengage to get away from the Renekton's engage. But we had already kind of identified that 100 Thieves will most likely be playing through that bottom lane. Once you drop the Lucian, they're saving their support pick for last. So Ayla goes with the Alistar, engage and disengage. Just had an incredible game 2 on it in this series. I'm liking what TLA have pieced together.
This is a bouncy house comp for TLA. It's all about getting you in that Cataclysm. You got the Gnar knockups. You can use that wall. You can get Alistar involved and trying to prevent 100 Thieves from doing what they want to do, as it's going to be an older counter, but one that does still check out for Poom. It will be the Braum into the Alistar, and a lane that pairs very, very well with Lucian.
Exactly. The Lucian passive helps stack those concussive blows. You can actually be very aggressive here. Braum isn't known to be like a hard engage champ, but with the Lucian lane, you almost can function as a hard engage support, especially if you're playing the wave state correctly. And again, it's a lane that the Nocturne can actually look to try and get ahead in the bottom lane. We've hyped up Luger. It's now the third game going into it. We're looking at this composition. Actually, every game now that I think about it has kind of leaned further and further away from the Luger has to carry. It is the only carry. But still, a lot is being put on this player's shoulders.
And early game plan, I want to see if 100 Thieves go for a 3-wave dive. We've seen them get so aggressive in early games, especially in winners finals. And having tools like Renekton and like Nocturne, you can set that one up, and even playing towards top to try and get that Gnar down early, getting a TP advantage in the top lane, could actually open things up a lot in the bot lane for the Zushin Braum, who very much want to play aggressive and play forward in that lane. So here's to see if 100 Thieves maybe path top to try and get that TP advantage and free it up, or if they just play towards bot and make sure that Luger and Poom can step up.
And you factor in, Orianna wave clear into that, we could see a lot of action on that third wave in the top lane, but we will be sending it to a short break before we're back for game number 3, what could be the last game of Proving Grounds, or let's see if 100 Thieves Academy can bring us into a series right after this. And loading on to Summoner's Rift for game number 3. Team Liquid Academy versus 100 Thieves Academy in the Proving Grounds Grand Finals. 100 Thieves Academy with a very different approach to their draft this time around. And maybe that's what they needed. Something fresh going into game 3.
But it's still something that's familiar. I mean, this goes back to the Game 1 Winners Finals that 100 Thieves had when they were on red side. They went with Renekton and Nocturne into the top lane. And actually went for a 3-wave dive up there. And I want to see if they go back to that strategy and emulate it. I was teasing it in the draft. I think getting a TP advantage in the top lane and kind of threatening that to always turn around a play being executed on the Poom Luger bot is very important. Speaking of important, that side step from Yawn saved him from potentially having to blow a summoner spell as Poom and Luger were going for the level 1, not able to connect with the Winter's Bite. Mystic Shot traded back, and seems like my dreams and tales of a 3-wave dive top is not going to be the strategy that 100 Thieves opt for, as it seems like Chad will be starting red on his own, leashless.
And then presumably pathing towards the bottom side when junglers start on that top lane leashless. So we'll see. I mean, you know what? They tried it in game 1 of the Winners Finals. Important to note, they actually did pull it off. They did give over a couple kills the last time they went for this play with these two champions in particular, but
we don't talk about it. They won the game. Yeah, it's fine.
True. They still could convert that one, but that's the important part. They know, like you said, cheating tempo with the Nocturne. They like comps like this. 100 Thieves Academy, this is their bread and butter and how they enjoy playing games, finding leads here. So I think getting Chad off of the Trundle onto something that can get around the map a little faster, that's a step 1 for the recipe of success for 100 Thieves.
And something that really plays more into Chad's wheelhouse, as keep in mind, Chad is a player where he just started playing competitive this split. This is his first split out of solo queue playing competitive league to make it to PG Finals. A very impressive feat from him. I know that his GM, Papa Smithy, said he's doing his best NXI impression. I'd consider that quite the compliment, especially considering where NXI has gone from his time with 100 Naps. Of course, Chad will be at Scouting Grounds as well this year. We'll see if he can pick up the MVP, just like NXI did. But before that, I think he'd rather take the Proving Grounds Finals in his hands. 100 Thieves Academy do face quite the uphill battle here as they find themselves down 0-2, of course, and have to win this game to continue the series.
It's the reverse from what we saw in the Winners Bracket Finals. Then 100 Thieves Academy got the first 2 wins, and TL were the team that scaled into the series. Now, they couldn't pull off the reverse sweep. 100 Thieves Academy did win that Game 5, but it was close. That was the closest series we've had in all of Proving Grounds, especially in the best of 5. So now 100 Thieves Academy will need to do the same thing TL did to at least get themselves to that game number 5. Catching up on how they're going to do it in the early game here. Chad has full cleared the top jungle into this bottom jungle. Nor will be faster on the clear and gets towards this top river scuttle first.
This is something that is nice for the Nocturne Jarvan matchup. Is Jarvan that level 2, always very scary. And Nocturne getting a first full clear, racing towards 6, where he really hits his power spike, is something that is a nice small win for 100 Thieves, even though it doesn't show on the scoreboard, as Nori still trying to use those powerful early levels. We talked about the setup for mid-jungle duo. Looks like they want to execute a play onto Ryoma.
Yeah, already Ryoma's positioned defensively, though, so backs all the way back. Yamsu and the 1v1 against Dokla. Dokla about to hit Mega. Yamsu flashes and gets first blood. Pivotal for 100 Thieves in this series, but bottom lane, Team Liquid, they're getting teleported on. Ayla and Yan in a lot of trouble. Chad's there, spell shields ahead, but double kill to Ryoma.
Huge plays from 100 Thieves Academy. We talked about TP advantages. Harry, based in TP'd mid. Ryoma and the rest of Thieves seeing that timer, seeing Dokla in the Death Chamber, managed to use that window to punish bot. As Gamsu continues to punish Dokla.
No way, you get another.
Is down flash. No way, he can't push for this. They just made a play where they showed 4 bot, but still Gamsu. That Q flash, really well played. Is of course Dokla, he had the Mega Timer, but you have to use an ability to proc that. And he caught Dokla off guard, outplaying him with that reaction timers. We're going to get a replay yet again. And Gamsu on this Renekton, showing that, you know, I know that him coming back into Proving Grounds, of course, a player that has been on the LCS stage, fans sometimes don't always seem too keen towards that, but this is the highest level of play outside LCS. And to see Gamsu stepping up in his first year back playing League of Legends in the finals, in a game where they really needed it, great to see out of him and that squad of 100 Thieves Academy, as finally Kangas, they play towards the identity that got them here, a 2K goal lead at 5 minutes, playing out this early game. And 100 Thieves Academy have emerged in this game 5. They're trying to make this a series.
Gamsu was playing Overwatch professionally and has just come back and
won a championship.
He won a championship and another esport title and has now come back and 1v1'd Dokla, a mainstay here now over the last couple of years in North America. But Team Liquid Academy not to be outdone. Aggression in the bottom lane. Boom with the shield. Absorbs all the damage. Team Liquid don't find anything.
And once Lucian Braum gets off and running, this lane is impossible to gank. Because they can do exactly what they did there and just turn the play on the head of whoever's coming to gank the lane, right? This lane does so much upfront damage with the double shots and, of course, the Winner's Bite passive. It's very difficult to deal with. And so Honori showing up for that play, I think the true reasoning of it was just to try and make sure that wave crashes and it's not a doomsday wave state for the side of Yawn and Team Liquid. But 100 Thieves, they see that play, see Honori base, and will use this window to take the Dragon for free.
I love the approach from 100 Thieves Academy. They did not skip a beat. They are not, you know, the mental warfare has not gotten to them. They come into this game 3 and they draft different, they're executing early different, and they're getting these leads. A big turnaround for the series narrative for them right now because this is do or die. Their entire lives are on the line here. This is the last series to be played in all of Proving Grounds. They're going to need to win 3 in a row here. Fantastic start to this game 3 because they can use this fed Renekton. They can use now this fed Orianna to continue to snowball forward.
Not to mention the fact that Chad hit a pre-630 level 6 on Nocturne. Not too shabby. Now has that paranoia to try and make a play on the map. As Dokla just went mini, Chad is on the top side going for the Krugs and the red buff. Would not be surprised if he wants some attention and an extra hand to Gamsu in the top lane here as Gnar can't be punished when mini, and Dokla will lose the game of chicken. We'll have to hop over the wall, lose a couple creeps for that. But well played by Gamsu.
You're just waiting to see if Dokla steps too far forward, waiting to see if he gets greedy for the passing towards the wave. And yeah, Chad on the top half of the map, maybe a little easily read there by Dokla, but either way, Gamsu's setting up the potential plays. But now we talked about that mid lane focus here. There's also the potential for those plays as Yan makes a disadvantageous trade in the bottom lane. Luger and Poom getting aggressive onto that Ezreal. But that mid lane play we are highlighting before we hopped into this, Nocturne, a very strong Orianna ball delivery system.
Yeah, turning off the lights, pressing R, and then, you know, having that R connect with a Shockwave is something that very difficult for teams to deal with. As
He's looking for it.
Ryoma.
There's Paranoia. Ryoma just flashes out. 3-champ shockwave into the Paranoia. Chad's looking for it. He's taking a lot of damage, though. No one's died yet. Ryoma will take down Ayla. Harry trying to retreat. No flash available. Dies as well. 100 Thieves with the clapback.
And not only was that a 3-champion shockwave, but he also canceled the headbutt from Ayla's outsurge gone. Okay.
Oh.
It's kind of fitting that Luger's going pew pew, you know, given the name. As that's going to be 3 plates going over to Lucian and Kangas. I know game 1 and game 2, very much in favor of Team Liquid, pre-30-minute wins. But this is just as, if not more, one-sided for 100 Thieves. Watch the cancel. He was headbutting Ryoma, catches him in the animation, shuts down any hope for a play. And because Chad Jungle is had a level, has that early power, they win out on the 2v3, finding 2 kills in the hands of 100 Thieves Academy. And the Rift Herald also going over to the Nocturne as we went through that replay. As this 4K gold lead's only going to grow off the use of Shelly. And 100 Thieves Academy are not going down in the series without a fight.
There's nothing that feels worse than being behind in gold, behind in plays, and you're like, all right, let's force the play mid. J4 ult, Ayla roam up, dogpile onto the Orianna, and then to have it turned around on you like that. Now TL have to go back to the drawing board and figure out, okay, well, what can we possibly do next since that one didn't work? But 100 Thieves, they're in a very comfortable position here. Not just in the game now, but also, you know, the comeback potential for the series itself. This is a huge boon for their mental.
Well, Kangas, these teams are really damn good. It's the reason they're in Proving Grounds finals.
True.
But if you want to get real crazy, there is about a 1-wave window where TLA will have both teleports up. 100 Thieves will not have either. And having Rise and Realm Warp, you can cheat plays a little bit across the map, as Eri just getting his teleport up off cooldown. Was hovering bot, but not able to find anything, as Orianna able to utilize that ball, keep Rise at distance, and keep Harry from roaming and affecting any other lanes, as I know it's a very tiny window, but that is one that these teams will look for this double play. And, oh my gosh. Dawn's down 2 doubles.
In the 2v2, Poom's looking for it. As Glacial Fissure not using it yet. There is the Braum knockup, plus the Cullen from Luger. 2v2 kill to 100 Thieves.
And we saw Luger earlier forcing the flash out of Yawn when there was a triple wave stacked at the turret. Look at the levels. Luger, level 7 to the level 5 of Yawn. That is how much they've been able to bully out of this matchup. And that is a solo turret going over to the bot lane, 100 Thieves, only to be outdone by the top turret falling first with Shelly being dropped. This is a full court press from 100 Thieves, and TL have no way to get out of their backcourt, as they're just stuck on their side of the map. And it is an absurd gold lead emerging here for 100 Thieves Academy.
What a turnaround here for the Thieves in the series. A massive gold swing right now, 6-0. They got that dragon. They actually didn't take the bottom turret. Luger and Poom do back off there, so they will head back towards the bottom side. But it's fine. Dragon's going to be up here as the next objective anyway, so they want their bot lane down there so they can test for that. They have vision set up in priority. Cubby, I mean, I know we're only 11 minutes, 20 seconds into this game, but I'm already starting to feel like we got a game 4 in our future here, unless Team Liquid can find some kind of miracle back into this game.
Yeah, I was considering, you know, ordering some of those delicious Buffalo Wild Wings you see on the post-game breaks after that game, too. I'm going to have to delay that one until after this game, as it seems like 100 Thieves Academy. Taking a 6K gold lead at the 12-minute mark is, I mean, if I see a 6K gold lead, like, at any point of the game, I'm usually like, oh, that's pretty good. At 12-minute mark, that's pretty absurd. As
500 gold advantage a minute.
Yeah, it's good to see 100 Thieves, you know, switching things up into a play style that we're more used to seeing out of them. As,
yeah, he doesn't have flash. Arcane Shift was used already. Oh.
Marcus called out from Chad.
Going out for Yan, everybody.
Maybe Toko too.
Yeah, there we go. Gamsu with another solo kill. My goodness, the domination from the Thieves right now, Cubby. They are revitalized in this game 3.
If anyone was watching the first 2 games and was like, you know, this may not be much of a series, I think 100 Thieves has something to say to those individuals.
Yeah.
As, this is a bit of a schlacken coming out.
That's a full culling. That's a full culling. Luger just straight up destroys Yan in the 1v1 bottom lane. I don't know what else there is to say, Cubby.
Why don't use Arcane Shift, get the lane out of base. Someone's sieging that bot inner, and Luger just taking everything and more all by himself. He doesn't need no support. He's a strong marksman. What do you get when you pick the Lucian?
Again, I mean, this is the level of performance
Okay,
that
here
we've
we
been
go.
highlighting from Luger. Let's see if he can do this now.
They're
They're
in
in
these, by
Ayla,
the
new
way.
challengers approaching. He doesn't have a lot of mana to work with, but he has Poom. But Jan's right there. He flashes to the blast code. He's out. Poom. No one's going to save him. Oh, that's so sad. Flashes away, jumps back. Dokla's here, but so is
no way.
Gamsu. So is Chad. Poom will go down, but 100 Thieves now have TL very far out of their base, and they
at the
can
damage.
turn the play. That's 2 more kills. Luger's just free firing here. Ayla will fall to Ryoma. And that's a 3-for-1 trade again in favor of 100 Thieves.
That's a 10k gold lead before plates fall. As this is looking like a bit of a scrim. Lucky for the fans, they get to tune into this, you know.
And luckily
It's,
for Team Liquid, they got a buffer, you know. They're up 2-0 in
They got a
this
couple
series.
games.
They can maybe afford a game like this here. Now, Jan is stopping some backs, you know. There's something for the Ezreal to do with the time right now. But, I mean, at this point, we're getting to that game state where we just kind of watch and critique how 100 Thieves play from this point forward.
Yeah, it's like, how clean can this one get? And, well, out of Luger, that's pretty damn clean, as he's able to flash the headbutt and hit the blast cone. Boom does go down for his marksman sins, like a good support. But I think Luger and the rest of 100 Thieves, they do pay off that one tenfold. And at this point, I mean, TLA, they have to go for shutdowns, right? Like, this game is so far out of reach and so far gone that you got to try a Hail Mary, much like what we saw at 100 Thieves in Game 1, just consistently grouping, trying to find picks. And I think the best Hail Mary they can find is maybe off of Rune Prison and playing away from Luger, because Luger is out of control fed. That's 2 completed items before the 15-minute mark, including Essence Reaver, so he's not going to run out of mana again.
They're just trying to hold the mid turret for right now, but they can't even hold through the goalie. That was through Alistair ultimate. Actually, no, it wasn't. That was just through the Aftershock, I believe. But still, 100 Thieves Academy, they just do so much damage right now. Luger does so much damage right now. 4-0 and 4. The outer turret mid will go down. 100 Thieves Academy, they're grouping up. They're already sieging. They're taking down tier 2 turrets. They're taking down Jan under turret. Throwing Ori there too. 100 Thieves Academy. They came for a series right now. Revitalized in Game 3. And already in the base of Team Liquid. 15 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock. And they're diving past the inhibitor turret? Are you kidding me?
I love how in Proving Grounds Finals, we get the most one-sided game we have seen all year, covering
I think
Academy.
it is. Hands down, yeah.
I mean, some of the Team Liquid games to kick off Proving Grounds were pretty one-sided. I think this is beating the wheat, as 100 Thieves Academy are going for a record-setting pace. And the fact that they are able to do this, I mean, so much of... Oh.
Jan, all right, that you know, that forgives some of the earlier deaths, some of the earlier arcane shifts.
Can they
Harry,
get it, though?
Can they get... Okay, Honori's here.
Oh, yeah.
Flying drag.
Yeah, Honori's
yeah,
gone.
there we go. All right.
Okay,
TLA.
all right.
Objective
Plus
secured.
I was just about to talk about, like, momentum and momentum shifts in a best of 5. And, hey, you know, TLA, they take that one to the bank. Unfortunately, though, the bank account's a little bit higher for their opponents in this game, as momentum in best 5. This is much needed for 100 Thieves Academy, because this wasn't going anywhere as... Oh, we're getting a second look.
Oh, this is another replay of that.
You know,
yeah.
3's a charm. You need 3.
We just really want to highlight Luger's position here and Poom being a good guy support. That's what it comes down to right there. But all right, TLA, they're very far forward here, trying to make the play with a Herald. Gamsu stopping back, stopping the recalls, and now Paranoia in, so 100 Thieves can collapse onto this side wave. Harry, does he make it?
Ooh.
No! Too much damage, can't get through that Realm Work. So 100 Thieves Academy with another couple of picks there. And I don't feel like they couldn't even drop the Herald. They couldn't even capitalize on the steal.
Yeah, Doko was thinking about, like, oh, I just saw 4 members top. They even start up the Infernal Dragon, try and sneak it, and he's like, nope, just going to fix this wave state. Because I think Chad's sprinting to take down an objective, any comeback mechanic from Team Liquid, as continues to go in favor of 100 Thieves. And honestly, I mean, momentum, right?
Yeah.
Shifting things in your favor. This is something that for 100 Thieves Academy, and so critical, the fact they are able to completely switch up their team composition, completely switch up the flavor of how they want to play and execute this game. And it looks like they've just really caught Team Liquid Academy off guard, as it has been nothing but a kingdom coming out from 100 Thieves. Started with the Thang Kingdom in both side lanes, and then Chad get involved too on the Nocturne. It's only gone one way.
They're throwing the Hail Mary yet again here, trying to get the play. Can't even kill Boom. Harry will secure that, but trades his life for it. Double kill to Luger. Gamsu teleports in. Looking to continue it. Jan in trouble here. Has flash. Doesn't use it yet. Ayla's playing bodyguard yet again. Gamsu just doesn't take damage. He's literally unkillable right now on the Renekton. Under turret. Jan's got no hope. Even flashes towards the Croc right there. Dominant performance from 100 Thieves Academy in this Game 3. Even Dokla will probably fall here. That's an ace! Anori didn't spawn in time. That was an ace for 100 Thieves Academy.
Yeah, I feel like Gamsu and Luger are like, trying to one-up each other here on the Rifts. Like, hey man, like I saw what you were doing in the bot lane. Check out what I can do in the top lane.
We got a Legolas Gimli situation going on right now. They're just counting kills. That one doesn't count. Diving, if you're past the inhibs, it doesn't count Gamsu. Luger's like, come on, I can't go that far. I'm an 80 carry.
Ryoma even getting in on the fun, building the book. I would say if the book being a very cost-efficient item, if you're not going to die, I'd say a game that's 23-2. That's probably the right buy coming out here for Ryoma. As
I want to bring the conversation though back to one of the points that we had going into the game here, Gummy, because Whom, when we had a chance to catch up with him as the replay is rolling in, we just get to see how further ahead 100 Thieves are. Whom had said one of the big differences between himself as a player compared to when we last saw him, yes, he developed on 100 Thieves Next for 2 weeks before moving that into Academy, playing at the LCS stage. He did not have a lot of time to scale up here. People forget he's only been playing the game for like 4 years. But he said that playing with Luger, he has learned how to play much more aggressive. Level 1 setups, communicating with the team what he wants to do and when they're going to pull the trigger, when they're going to go in. I'm seeing a lot of that this game. A lot of in-sync decision-making from 100 Thieves outside of just their individual dominant performances, because a lot of their lead was secured individually, but still, they're playing well together.
And it's exactly what you need when you're playing a lane like Lucian Black, right? So much of it is playing off the winner's bite, as gonna see a bit of a cross-map trade going on. Bot outer turret and possibly the inner traded for Baron.
And that's a record-setting Baron. That was literally on spawn. I saw them setting up for it, and then it spawned, and 18 seconds is what it took. Jan did not steal that one. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if he had gotten it? Realm Warp out, Gamsu does not find a kill in that bottom lane, but TLA, that's a consolation prize of anything. A tier 2 turret in the bottom lane for the Baron take. Yeah, I mean, now, like we had said, it's just how quickly does it take for 100 Thieves to close this one out, because they're already on these inhibitor turrets.
Props to Team Liquid for, at least trying to make a trade, and when you're this far behind, that's about all they could trade, but this game should be all but wrapped, as I think that we get one more highlight reel fight coming out from Gamsu and Luger to see who can throw up the better numbers. And besides that, this game should be all but over. That Lucian pick for Luger, and the way that 100 Thieves has gotten here is really by finding leads in side lanes and snowballing it into the bot lane. Poom and Luger didn't even need the snowball. They just had it with how dominant this lane is and how well they were able to play it. As all it took was one gank from Chad for this game to really break open. A couple nice plays from Gamsu. And we're now here, an out-of-control game state. 100 Thieves trying to put the finishing touches on.
He'll try and force the fight. Ayla just goes for the engage, has to ult early just to stay alive through Luger's damage. Chad throws up Paranoia too. And Team Liquid are now retreating. Chad is very low though. 100 Thieves, you gotta be careful. Don't get sloppy with it. Make sure you can actually close out the game. Now Ayla goes for another re-engage here onto Ryoma, taking a lot of damage. One more turret shot. Doesn't get him. 100 Thieves have low health bars, but still, with all waves pushing in, with Baron-empowered minions now, and also with a pick out the Dokla, Gamsu with another 1v1 in the base. That's it. We knew it was wrapped a while ago, but now 100 Thieves putting the final touches on this game here. 5v4 defense. Let's see what Team Liquid can show us right now. Gamsu pops the Dominus. Liquid focus everybody down onto that Renekton, but he just doesn't die, even through the exhaust. Chad almost falls, but 100 Thieves will give us the series that we were all hoping for and bounce back in game number 3 with potentially the most dominant performance that we have seen in all of Proving Grounds. GG, the Thieves take game 3.
I'm not going to go with potentially. I'm going to go with that's a 20k gold lead in a 22.5 minute game. Honestly, that game was so out of control that, for the side of Team Liquid Academy, it's pretty easy to say, all right, guys, throw that one out, right? We crushed them game 1 and 2. I know that 100 Thieves just, crushed them and absurd fashion, but a few things went wrong. Maybe it's a draft in life. They get to pick which side they're on now. I feel like Team Liquid, especially with the experience they have in their back pocket, should be able to bounce back okay. But I do want to focus on what 100 Thieves just did, because, oh my goodness, that was... I mean, if you left to, like, go get some food, and you came back expecting to see the game, you missed out. That's how quick that game was. It was over in about 5 minutes, and everything else was just icing on the cake for the Thieves.
The best part is it won't take you that long to catch up. Probably within the break that we get back for the next game, you can get through that one.
Two things I want
to highlight. Gamsu playing a carry, getting solo kills, and Luger finally getting that pop-off performance. This is what we've been highlighting and saying there's potential. There's so much that this player can do if you give him the tools to do it. Got those tools this time around.
Yeah, and those are the intangibles with the players. I think the biggest thing for me is just the comp difference and the stylistic difference that 100 Thieves are coming into this one with. Banning out that Trundle and being able to take a jungle matchup that Chad can really express more of his skill, more of his comfort on, I think really did a lot of favors for 100 Thieves. And it was the first game where that mid-jungle 2v2 wasn't broken by the side of Team Liquid Academy. That's all they needed.
True.
But I don't want to take too many points away from the analyst desk here, because that was a quick one. So best of luck, because we're going to be back for Pick and Ban for game number 4. 100 Thieves bounce back in the series and pick up a win. TLA still on match point. We're sending it to a short break before the analyst desk comes back to break down that game 3 after this.